Japan has decided to release more than 1 million tons of contaminated water from the ruined Fukushima nuclear plant into the sea. The decision aroused a controversy in the global community. So in this video, let's talk about how the release will affect you and why you should be worried about its effects. First thing first, what is contaminated water? In 2011, an earthquake and tsunami destroyed 4 large nuclear reactors in Fukushima. Tons of radioactive materials were released. That was the worst nuclear accident since the Chernobyl disaster in 1986. To prevent the reactor cores from melting, water has been continuously poured on the top of the reactors, so the water becomes contaminated. The plant's operator has built huge tanks to store the water. But Japan said it's running out of space, so the cheapest option is just dump the water into the sea. How does radiation harm marine life and humans? The ocean currents can spread the radioactive materials widely. According to the German Marine Scientific Research Institute, radioactive materials will spread to most of the Pacific Ocean within 57 days from the date of discharge, and the US and Canada will be affected by nuclear pollution 3 years later. The radioactivity from Fukushima has already caused pollution. In 2012, nuclear radiation was detected not only in fish caught along the coast of Fukushima, but also in tuna caught off California. Also, research from Nanjing University shows that the cesium discharges spread to the East China Sea by 2013, reaching their peak in 2019. Radiation harms all living things, causing genetic damage, birth defects, infertility, and tumors. Among all the released particles, the radioisotopes are unstable and can make the fish more radioactive than ever. Is it really okay to release the water? Japan said a water purification system has been used to treat the water to remove 62 radioisotopes, but the system can't remove some radioisotopes such as tritium. Some scientists said tritium is relatively harmless because it doesn't emit enough energy to penetrate human skin, but a Scientific American magazine article said in 2014, when ingested, tritium can raise cancer risks. According to a New Scientist article in 2020, some harmful particles are still in the treated water, such as strontium and iodine. By the end of 2020, 70% of the water has yet to go through a secondary filtering process. These toxic elements can concentrate up the food chain. Remember, we are at the top of the food chain. Once the particles get into the marine life, you really can't keep yourself safe. But Japanese authority doesn't want to try their best to reduce the levels of contamination. Japan said decontaminated water can be released to the sea, but in 2020, when Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga visited the nuclear power plant site, the operator offered him a cup of the treated water. Looks delicious, huh? He held it and didn't drink it. To be honest, Japan's handling of radioactive water is hasty. The Japanese Citizens Commission for Nuclear Energy, an independent group of researchers, said, after the water is treated, it should be stored in tanks for more than 100 years, so the levels of radioisotopes would reduce significantly, and then it could be safely released. Greenpeace said there's actually a lot of space available for storage on the nuclear site, but Japan has decided to deliberately contaminate the Pacific Ocean with radioactive wastes. Japan ignores fierce opposition from local fishing communities and neighboring countries. While there are better options, Japan still chose the cheapest one. When the global community's health is at stake, Japan, please think twice and be responsible.